Hi, and welcome to the Balancing Act New York edition. I'm Montel Williams. We're bringing you community stories and introducing you to businesses and people who are making a difference. So let's see who's making a difference right here in your neighborhood.
On today's episode, a new look at the arts, legal advice from the experts, the importance of learning how to swim at any age, the latest trends in fine jewelry, plus lots more. Today on The Balancing Act.
There's so much incredible work undertaken by nonprofit organizations right on our doorstep. Take a look at this.
Did you know we have an arts incubator that helps artists collaborate and grow? It's called Satellite Collective, and together they're developing new artists who aim high and achieve success. Here's how it works.
Satellite Collective is an arts incubator. That's a concept that we originated when we formed the company. So we develop opportunities, and that could be on the stage, it could be written work, film, music composition. We develop those opportunities because we grow artists. We work with many different art forms because there are many different ways to tell a story. Sometimes dance and music can bring that together. Other times we bring in spoken word and film. So the opportunities for many different artists to join in that creative process are core to what we do.
I am a photographer and a filmmaker. I find inspiration in working with choreographers, dancers, composers. I love collaborating with other artists.
They're a creative, inclusive, and diverse group.
Layla Jana says it best. Talent is distributed equally, opportunity is not. I want Satellite to be an equity engine. I've had the pleasure of welcoming artists from the large cultural institutions in New York City Ballet, Alvin Ailey, American Dance Theater, the Juilliard School, and we look to individuals in these large cultural institutions to give them opportunities to produce original works from the ground up. For example, our production of Echo and Narcissus tells the story from Echo's point of view. We go through the journey of her pain, and in the end, she doesn't need a man.
Their new Fellows program is unlike anything else in the world of arts.
My name is Philip Stoddard, and I have the pleasure of serving as the Director of Fellowships with Satellite Collective. But before I was involved in a leadership capacity, I actually was a fellow myself. So a few years ago, I was leaving Juilliard. I had earned both degrees in the music division and the drama division. And coming out of school, I needed some support making my creative visions come true. And so I had this incredible relationship developed with Satellite where they helped me produce, organize, and fundraise for 11 projects in my first 12 months out of school.
In terms of fundraising, artists teaching each other what has succeeded for them while using the tools that we've provided has turned out to be a very powerful community building.
And together, through initiatives like our Global Arts Exchange telephone game, we meet and connect artists all across the world.
I saw something online about this telephone game, which has to do with collaborations, and I thought that'd be great fun. It'll take me out of my regular comfort zone. And I just put in a little application and I sent some examples of my work. And Nathan Langston, the originator and the developer, he wrote me back a few months later and he said he'd like me to be part of this. And he sent me a poem that somebody had written for me to interpret.
And because of the years of experience that Satellite has had in New York City making productions, as well as this Fellows program, and the great success of our Global Arts Exchange telephone game, it brings us a lot of excitement to announce a new expanded version of our programs, what we're calling the Satellite Circle.
What we've learned with the Satellite Fellows is that the sharing and the community building is a very important aspect of the whole experience, and we believe that we can offer that on a national level at this time.
Satellite Circle has multiple benefits of joining. We offer favorable fiscal sponsorship rates for artists. We offer business mentorship in growing and sustaining your arts business, as well as having new avenues to expand your support network, all within an artist-driven, inclusive environment that's really community-oriented.
Satellite Collective has entered a transformational period. Satellite Circle represents to us the opportunity to meet and work with a whole new generation of artists.
And we're really excited to meet you and hopefully welcome you into our circle very soon.
For more information, visit satellitecollective.org or go to our website, thebalancingact.com.
Stressful situations can be made even worse if the legal advice isn't up to par. That's why it's crucial to find the best. Let's meet the experts at Fazzio Law Offices.
If the government comes after you for a crime, there's more to your case than just beating the charge. Your entire future could be at stake.
My name's John Fazzio, and here at Fazzio Law Offices, we represent criminal defendants. We help them when they're accused of a crime, and we represent them throughout the entire proceeding from the time of their accusation until hopefully we either get them off of the charges or find a deal that they can live with. We help people with everyday things like parking tickets and municipal violations, all the way through domestic violence, serious crimes of assault and battery, to white-collar criminal defense and more complex business crimes. Here at Fazzio Law Offices, we believe that everyone deserves as many second chances as they need to get where they're going in life. And what we mean by that is that if you make a mistake or you have a misstep in your life, you should be able to recover from that and go on and accomplish all of your goals. It might take a little bit of work to get things back on track, but you should get that second chance, and we advocate for that whenever we're in court for a client. A lot of times, the people that I come across who have the greatest success stories have stumbled along the way before they got to that point. And whenever I have somebody sitting in front of me that's accused of a crime, I know how they feel. They feel like their entire life is over. That's not the case. And for a lot of those people, they're going to go on to do great things, but they just have to get through this little speed bump in the road.
John Fazzio formerly worked at a prosecutor's office and now specializes in criminal defense. Everyone at his law firm works as a team to get each defendant the best possible result.
We think it's important that everyone in the firm knows exactly what's going on in every case, especially a criminal case when someone's life and their liberty is at stake. So a lot of criminal defense attorneys take the defense part at heart and try to poke holes in the state's case and take a complete defensive approach. However, we think an offensive approach is the best for our clients. We show law enforcement why our client is innocent. We don't poke holes in the state's case, we make our case. So it's always smart to be courteous and be respectful to police. And also, if the case progresses and you need the cop's recommendation or leniency, the prosecution always takes that into consideration. So it's always wise to respect law enforcement, even if you believe they're not doing the right thing.
When it comes to criminal defense cases, there are a few myths that need debunking.
If you find yourself in a situation that you're uncomfortable or unfamiliar with, you should not speak to anyone, especially law enforcement, without an attorney.
You wouldn't get in the ring with Mike Tyson on your first boxing match, and you shouldn't, when your entire life is at stake, decide to represent yourself and go it alone. If you think about your normal everyday experience, when you have a medical issue, you go to a doctor. When you have something with your teeth, you go to a dentist. Even with things like getting your suit, laundered for an event, you go to a professional, you go to a dry cleaner. You don't do that yourself. It's even more important when your liberty and your record is at stake to have a professional in your corner.
Innocent until proven guilty may be the law, but perception can often be the opposite. Fazzio Law believes in accountability, but they also want to be in your corner and fight the fight with you.
If you want to prove your innocence, prove to the state that you deserve a second chance, and prove to yourself that you're worth fighting for, we are here for you, and we want to be your attorneys.
Keeping in mind that everybody in law enforcement wants to see you go on to have a productive life, we personalize your story, and we tell the court and law enforcement about your goals and aspirations for life and the things that you're already doing in terms of who you support and what you bring to the community and why they should give you, another chance to go forward and keep doing that.
For more information about Fazzio Law Offices, visit fazziolaw.com or just go to our website, thebalancingact.com.
Safety should always be our #1 priority. Our next story has some great advice.
Water safety should always be a top priority, and learning to swim absolutely saves lives. Just ask a former captain of the Olympic swim team.
I swam on the 1996 and 2000 Olympic teams, winning a gold and bronze medal, and I captained the 2000 team. My husband and I decided to start Sweet Blue Swim Academy. We're later in life entrepreneurs. His background is in higher education, my background is in swimming, and so we really married our skills to come together to build this swim school in Fairfield County. It's not just about learning to swim, it's about building self-knowledge, self-confidence, and resiliency.
Why is this important? The statistics say it all.
Drowning is the #1 cause of preventable death for kids up to the age of 4, and #2 for the kids up to the age of 12. Formal swimming lessons can actually decrease the risk of drowning by 88%, and more often than not, adults think they can swim better than they really can. American Red Cross states that 56% of adults can't swim well enough to save themselves. I'm a former competitive swimmer myself, and I'm still very humbled by the open water. So I would say that swimming isn't just a sport, it's also a survival skill as well.
Always have an eye on your children when they are in the water, in the bathtub, or anywhere near water. It's so important. That's probably the most important layer, besides then getting them into swim classes to create another layer of defense in drowning prevention.
Anyone can learn how to swim, even adults.
We literally start with classes for as young as 2 to 4 months old. That's more water acclimation, but our real swimming starts from 4 months old and we go up to adults. And it really depends on what age you are. We focus on where someone is developmentally and how we approach it. So up to 4 years, it's about drowning prevention, and then we get more into technique and perfecting strokes as you get older. So the most typical age that we see here at our swim school is between the ages of 2 to 6 years old. But we do have, I have to tell you, as young as just before 1 year of age. And as the American Pediatric Association says, you should be starting swim lessons by the age of 1 with your children. A swim lesson for a 1-year-old is going to be very different for an adult. For a 1-year-old, we're really looking at drowning prevention, teaching the safety of you have to always be with an adult in the water, how to get them back to the wall, how to hold their breath underwater. And then as you get older and we can talk to you and you have the intellectual capacity, and I'm talking like 6, 7 is when that really starts, that we'll talk to you a little bit more about, you know, the physics of swimming and the side breathing and going into different strokes like butterfly and breaststroke. With adults, we can start anywhere from teaching them to learn to swim. We wouldn't treat them like a 1-year-old, but we're going to talk to them about breath control. It's the most important piece and pillar of learning to swim is you have to be able to put your face in the water.
Their methods are unique.
All of our instructors are previous competitive swimmers. We all have to go through a 20 to 30 hour training program to ensure our method is consistent amongst all of us. The coolest thing about my job is seeing how excited these kids are to come swim with us. And we know that they're growing and their confidences are growing, and I think that's the most fulfilling part of our jobs. If you were a former competitive swimmer and you love teaching kids and you love the water, please reach out to us. We'd love you to join the team. We want to teach as many kids as possible in the water.
And really, wherever you look to swim, we might not be for everybody. You should make sure that the teaching method resonates with how you would approach it if you want to learn to swim.
For more information about Sweet Blue Swim Academy, visit sweetblueswim.com or just go to our website, thebalancingact.com.
Seeking out a new look? Then check this out.
There are so many precious moments in life, engagements, weddings, births, anniversaries, that are marked with a jewelry purchase. Helping make these occasions even more special are the folks at Kevin's Fine Jewelry.
At Kevin's Fine Jewelry, we're very, very into the customer experience. It's really important to us, myself and the entire staff, that If someone comes in and they walk away with an experience that they want to go home and share with their family and friends and tell them what a great time that they had here and that they got exactly what they were looking for and that we met and exceeded their expectations and sent them home with something that was beyond their wildest imagination. We carry jewelry that ranges from very, very affordable sterling silver or even costume jewelry made of non-precious metals all the way up and through very, very fine, high quality, large size diamonds, and kind of runs the gamut from $20 to $20,000 or $100,000. But we specialize in, we're really a bridal store. We really do an awful lot of engagements and wedding rings, and we cater to young couples coming in to get engaged and commit to one another for the rest of their lives. The way I got interested in jewelry was I was walking through the mall one day looking in many, many stores for a job. I met a guy in a jewelry store who showed me the shop, and my interest just spiked, and the next thing you know, I was in the GIA learning about setting diamonds and doing jewelry repairs. And that was the beginning of my life in this industry.
They have something for everyone, no matter your taste or budget.
So when you come into the store, the first question we would ask is what shape you're interested in. And then from there we can decide on what style someone might like. Is it something more trendy, something more classic? And of course, would she like the ring in platinum, white gold, or yellow gold, which is actually becoming more popular now.
They enjoy working with heirlooms from previous generations and creating them for future generations.
When someone comes into my store and they have a piece of jewelry that they've inherited from their grandma or grandpa or great-grandmother, and they trust me to remodel it for them or restyle it or even just resize it, and I get a great thrill out of seeing these diamonds, which are billions of years old, being remounted into something that's going to go on for more generations, possibly dozens of generations, and it's just, for me, very, very fulfilling.
They also work with top designers. After all, jewelry is fashion.
One of the brands that we carry is a brand called Holchi Balloony. It's actually imported out of Antwerp, Belgium. And it's a very, very fine line of jewelry that's stretchable bracelets mostly. And there's no clasp. It's a very, very proprietary process that they use that makes these bracelets stretch, and they never break. They're guaranteed for life, and they're so easy to wear. And people who buy one almost every single time come back to buy a second, a third, and a fourth. The look is a layering look, and the fashion and the jewelry industry right now is to layer bracelets or to layer necklaces. People oftentimes will not just wear one piece, they'll stack them up, and it's very, very nice. And I've had people come in and say, hey, I love your stack, to a client of mine, and it's kind of a new term that's evolved in the industry, is I love your stack. One of my favorite types of transactions is when a client comes in and says, hey, let's make something, and I trust that you know what I want, so let's just go ahead and make it. And I had this one client come in and she said, I just want a nice oval diamond, and I don't want it to be too small, and I trust that you know what I want. So we just went ahead and made the ring, and the point at which we revealed the ring to her was such a special moment. She nearly fell off her chair with excitement. It was just a very, very fulfilling moment in my career, one that I'll never forget.
For more information about Kevin's Fine Jewelry, visit kevinsfinejewelry.com or go to our website, thebalancingact.com.
With virtual simulations, people of all ages are learning something new with Kaleidoscope Learning. Take a look at this.
As technology gets more advanced, so does the way we learn. It's becoming clear that online courses and programs are forever changing the traditional educational strategies.
A lot of the traditional educational methods that are standard and most common today, such as a teacher lecturing to a large class, really evolved because they are practical. It's something you can do in a way that makes sense from a financial standpoint. You have a teacher in a large class and it's cost effective. But education is much better when it's personalized, when people learn by doing, when they have project-based learning, when they learn to think critically and solve problems. And the difficulty with doing that on a large scale is that it's very, very expensive. And that's where technology comes in. Technology gives us the ability to design really great online learning experiences.
Dr. David Goralnik specializes in new methods of learning that utilize e-learning techniques to help people of all ages. With Kaleidoscope Learning, David and his team are giving online programs a new approach.
At Kaleidoscope Learning, our goal is to take progressive learning theories and apply them to adult learning for workplace performance, other types of adult education, professional development, and also university learning as well. So we have the goal of integrating modern technology and advanced learning theories into one, and that often means creating new technology. So not necessarily just relying on what exists, but thinking about this in a holistic way and bring together theories from cognitive psychology, from education, from computer science and artificial intelligence.
We've partnered with Kaleidoscope to develop about 12 different titles in the continuing legal education area. It's a combination, a little bit of lecture, but lots of interactivity, getting the folks who are taking the programs to actually do things. It's not just sitting and listening. It's doing things that a lawyer would have to do, and that's kind of unusual in the continuing legal education area, to actually get learners to actually do that during an educational program.
A lot of the programs that we produce involve active learning approaches where people do things and have to make appropriate and difficult decisions that are going to be part of their real job. So for example, we've done a whole series of courses for professional legal development for attorneys. And in one of those, someone learns to work with a series of clients by first hearing a little bit from an expert about how to do it and watching some really realistic videos of people doing it, but then they also have to make their own decisions. Here's a client in video, what do you decide to do? How do you handle the situation? So all of these are the kinds of things that you can do in an interactive learning setting that are very much like the kinds of things you would do on the job, but you also then get some feedback and guidance. You'll get something from the program that's going to tell you, how well your decisions are working, how well your approach is working. You might reflect on what's working well and not well.
Whether it's for professional development or personal knowledge and growth, Kaleidoscope uses simulations to help you learn.
Not only do they have the learning science background, but they're also very creative. When we were evaluating potential vendors, we were impressed with the visuals and what the screens look like. They had a good sense of interface design and how it would be to work easily with the program.
I chair a conference every year called the Learning Ideas Conference. And this is a conference that was designed for the purposes of reimagining learning. We bring together people from all around the world. We usually have about 40 different countries represented, and people from a variety of different backgrounds. It's people from academic research, it's people who are in corporate learning and development, it's people who are consultants, it's people who are students, everything kind of in between. And the overall goal of the conference is think about new ideas, discuss what we can do, how can we change and reimagine and re-envision what learning experiences are like, particularly using new technologies.
For more information, visit their website, kaleidolearning.com, or check out our website, thebalancingact.com.
I'm banking on our next story being one you shouldn't miss.
You work hard for your money, so where you choose to keep that money is really important.
We've been around for 170 years, so we've been around for quite a while. And we've morphed from just a bank into that full financial services company. First of all, you want to make sure that the bank is safe and sound, that it's got a good rating. There's a company called Bauer that actually gives ratings to banks. That's one way to know. 5-star rating is the highest level that you can get for safety and soundness. Convenience, is it convenient for you to where you bank and where you live or where you work? Do they have the products and services that you need? And do they have expanded products and services beyond?
Whether you're looking for a bank to keep your personal earnings or an account for a business, Ulster Savings Bank has the right options for any situation.
When I think of Ulster Savings Bank, I think of three things. I think of clients, I think of employees, and I think of community. The reason why I think of clients is because we hold our clients in high regards. We provide a high level of service and we look to wow the customer and provide a great customer experience. From an employee perspective, we do a lot for our employees. We care about our employees. We offer a great benefits package for a 1K package and also a tuition reimbursement package as well. We really care about our community and all the markets in which we live and serve. whether it's our corporate donation or sponsorship program, or it's Ulster Savings Bank Charitable Foundation, or volunteerism of our employees. We look to have 100% employee participation for volunteerism in the communities.
Any stock institution, particularly a stock bank, if it's a public bank, the fiduciary duties of myself as CEO, our board, and 100% of the employees would first and foremost be to the stockholder. We don't have that conflict. So in that case, the customer has to be at least number 2 in that scenario, maybe further down that list. For us, our first and foremost thought is of our customer. The heart of what we stand for is the customer service component of it, and how we care for our customers. That's who comes first. We were created for their existence, and it really, really helps us. And we have a strong value system that's built around that. The other piece that we do is that we really treat our community as that shareholder in some ways, and pay them a dividend. We give a large amount of our profits each year back out in the form of donations to the community.
So it was a long conversation with the board as to which bank would better fit CCE, our culture, and our mission. We all chose unanimously that Ulster Savings Bank would be that bank. They're not just an institution outside of the community, but they're part of the community.
It's important for both management and employees of Ulster Savings Bank to help the community in more ways than just donations.
This bank has been in the community and part of the community for over 100 years. And to have been part of a community for so long, you have to kind of embed yourself in a lifeline of a community with all that the community does.
We take a good part of our profits each year and we give them back to the community in the form of donations. We actually, in 2001, formed our own charitable foundation. So there's an Ulster Bank Charitable Foundation, which we fund fully and also funds the community. We've given out more than $500,000 a year, or $12 million since we formed our foundation, if not more. We believe we can positively change the trajectory of people's lives. We believe in working together to get things done, and we believe in having a workplace we can all brag about.
If you're looking for a secure, friendly community bank, visit their website, ulstersavings.com, or just go to our website, thebalancingact.com.
Thanks so much for joining us on this local edition of The Balancing Act. We'll see you next time.